Hey everybody, welcome to Tim Untethered. I am Tim, and yes, I am untethered. So what do you say we do a van tour today? Yeah, another van tour. That's what YouTube needs, one more van tour. So this is a Ford E350. It is the 15-passenger van. That is a 1-ton. I think it's their heavy-duty van. I'm not for certain. I know that they have a 450 and a 550 series after that, but it's a pretty sturdy platform to build from. Good news, bought it for $800. Bad news, 270,000 miles on it. But good news is that the van had a rebuilt engine, a rebuilt transmission, roughly 30,000 miles before the time that I bought it. If I can rely on the engine and I can rely on the transmission, what else could go wrong? That's another video. But the goal was to build something that I could eventually take an epic road trip in and have it be reliable and be a platform that I could use to work in. Now, most of the work that I do is I can do pretty much anywhere that I've got an internet connection. So those were considerations. And I wanted to be able to boondock in locations, now boondock off-grid camping, where I might need to take a dirt road or two to be able to get there. So I wanted something that was high enough off the ground, all-terrain tires. Four-wheel drive would have been nice, but not necessary. And that was sort of the general scope. So let me show you what I've done so far to the van. May or may not meet your specifications, but it's done all right for me. So let's take a look. So this is the bulkhead here. This cabinet right here has two 200 amp hour 12 volt Renogy batteries. On top of that is just general storage and just some miscellaneous stuff up here, more dog related care stuff. Car care related stuff, of course the MPPT controller, and then I have two inverters. I can get into more of that later. And then up here, one of these displays the voltage, one of these has two USB charging ports, and then the other one has the standard 12 volt charge port. Down here is sort of like a little nightstand area, and then there's a little Heidi cubby hole here for an additional 7 gallons of water, which gives us 21 gallons capacity. So this cabinet here is general storage. It's got just these two sort of storage containers here with various things in them. A basket here for fruits, vegetables, breads, and so on. And then over here is just additional storage. I've got some hard drives up here, as well as some trash bags, a rice cooker, and stuff like that. Down here, I've got, of course, the spare water jug. And then my clothes and stuff are down here. I keep 4 of these. They just slide under the bed, and they work out really well. I've got storage for, this is my dry pantry stuff, work-related gear, more work-related gear, keyboard tray, spices and oils and other dry pantry items that you would use for cooking and cleaning. Drawers for, this one up here is primarily for cooking utensils and my coffee stuff. Believe it or not, all of my cooking stuff and coffee stuff fits right here. And yeah, so it's pretty compact. And then of course down here, I've got these little guys, which you can, my little butane canisters that I line up throughout here. Right here is sort of a hub for various 12 volt and USB related stuff. I've got 2 USB charging ports here. I have 2 high capacity charging ports here, although I think they're only high capacity if you use one at a time. And then of course your standard 12 volt receptacle here for like your cigarette lighter type. This whole shelf right here is dedicated to charging batteries. So I've got AC on both sides here, one on the other side of this cabinet, and then one down there on that side. So I've got my camera batteries, drone controller. I've got a Bluetooth speaker and miscellaneous stuff that needs to get charged up here. And what I do is it's all plugged in, ready to go. And then during the daytime, when I've got a surplus of power, I'll kick on the inverter, and then all of this stuff will just start to charge. And of course, in the evening time, I'll often turn off the inverter, save some power, and I've got all my batteries charged. Back here, we've got a dual fuel stove here. So it works off of propane canisters that I showed you before, as well as propane. And I do carry a small propane tank too that I use for my Olympia Wave 3 or Camco Wave 3. This is your typical salad bowl sink. Kind of needs a cleaning, but it just drains to the outside. I just took the runoff, and there's a hole in the floor where the old air conditioning unit was for the back part of the passenger van, and I just routed it outside. But anyway, so there's the sink. Here is the Whale hand pump here. It pumps going up, pumps going down. Before you buy one, well, don't. And then back here, we've got two outlets one is for 12 volt DC, and then we have two plugs back here for charging USB, and that normally charges my phone and charges this fan here, which has two lithium batteries in it, which is pretty awesome. This is the area, of course, above my bed here, and office seating area. More storage, both sides. This panel here it's made out of those interlocking foam, what do you want to call them? Foam mats, right? And with this one, what I did was I took 2 or 3 of them. I sprayed some adhesive on the interlocking parts, stuck them together so I had one large one, and used it to cover this hole here. Now on one side, or cover the window, on one side is the black felt that I use. On this side is burlap, and it's just held up there by these rails here. Unfortunately, they're not strong enough just to plug in without it wilting and falling out, so these rails are required. But it's easy to take out with these wing nuts that hold them on either side. I can pull this out if I want to. I consider this a rather permanent feature, if you want to call it that, of the van. Now the one on the other side where the laptop was that you saw, I pull that one out with some regularity based on the view that I have. But otherwise, it's nice to be able to have the option to have it all sort of plugged up, and if I'm have to have a layover in a Walmart parking lot or a rest area or something, it's nice to have that privacy. Here's where I stow some more additional window coverings, my collapsible shower, 2 additional 7-gallon blue jugs, a 12-volt shower system, and I also have a collapsible trash receptacle as well. Here's my refrigerator stowed between the driver and passenger seat. It's lost the faceplate through the dogs jumping up and down, but it is a USCC 40 quart, as I recall. I have additional storage in the sort of the foot area of the passenger compartment. I put a piece of plywood, some foam, as well as a nice little quilt here to keep the boys nice and comfy. Works as a great dog bed. As for my solar system, I have 4 100-watt 12-volt panels in conjunction with my 400 amp hours of batteries. And that's pretty much about it. So what do you think? Was that worthy of YouTube's last van tour video ever? No more? No more van tour videos ever? No? All right, well, maybe there'll be a couple more coming up, but who knows? Look, if there was anything that I could leave you with if you're building your own van, it is, to the best of your ability, try to quantify the purpose for which you are building it. Now, I had the luxury over the last 2 years of sort of balancing the reliability and stability part of the actual van itself to make sure that it could last on this journey. And then the other part of it was building, testing, building, camping, building, more camping. And those sort of iterations could be between 24 hours out, 72 hours a week, up to a month at times. And it was that iterative process that was key for me to be able to build something that has worked, at least so far, as well as it has. So if you have any questions about anything that I've done, leave a comment below. I'm certainly happy to respond. But if there was a tip that I can give you, it is just know the purpose and size it and build it appropriately. If you don't know the purpose, then take the blank shell that you have, throw a sleeping bag in it, put a cooler in it, and go camp. Come back and go, how did that go? What do I need to change? And just keep doing it. And in doing that, you're probably going to save some money, and in the end, you're going to end up with something that you like. That's it. I'm Tim, and I'm untethered.